You're probably here because you want to connect Slack to n8n and you've run into a couple of roadblocks along the way. Maybe your webhook isn't verifying, or your bot isn't sending messages, or you're just lost in the maze of credentials and permissions. Trust me, you're not alone. In this video, we are going to walk through every single detail. My goal is to make this process crystal clear and finally get those workflows running smoothly. Let's go. Okay, before we get started, you need to know that there are two different ways that we can set up an app in Slack that will allow us to connect our n8n instance to our Slack workspace. And the first is the manual method. And in this video, we're going to go through every single step in this process. And if you follow it exactly, by the end of the video, you are going to have successfully connected n8n to Slack. Now, the problem with this method is that it's kind of like traversing or going through a minefield. Any misstep on any one of these points could ruin the connection between n8n and Slack. And that's where this manifest method is pretty nice. Because when you use this method, all you do is upload a file to Slack and it automatically configures all the settings to the settings that we need to connect n8n to Slack successfully. And it does it much faster and it's reliable every single time. Now, I've created that manifest file and there's a link in the description that will take you to automationhackers.net. If you create your free account, then you can download this manifest file and you'll just upload it to Slack. And essentially, almost all of the settings that we're going to go through are done for you with that manifest. And when you download the manifest, you'll also download this workflow so you'll have access to the step-by-step instructions that you can use as a reference as you're setting up your own integration with Slack. So go ahead and download both the manifest and this workflow by following that link in the description, creating your free account, and then downloading both. So now we're going to get started. We're going to click on apislack.com/apps. That's the website we're going to go to, and it will look like this for you. You may not have any apps already created, but we're going to create a new app. And this is where the two options are from a manifest. So if you choose to do that, if you download the manifest file, all you need to do is select a workspace. You go next, and it'll bring you to this screen where you just input the JSON from that file right here in this editor, and then you hit next, and it will it will configure all the settings for you. But since we're not doing that in this video, we are going to do it from scratch. We're going to select the Automation Hackers workspace, and we're going to do Create App. Once you see this screen, we're going to come down to OAuth and permissions. And we need to go down to scopes and bot token scopes. Once you're here, you go to add an OAuth scope. And first we're going to do app mentions read. Then next we're going to do channels history. Then we're going to add channels read. We're going to add chat write. We're going to add groups read or groups history and then groups read. And those are the scopes that we need to assign for n8n to connect to Slack. So we come up here to the top and this button is going to turn green, which will allow us to install our app to our workspace. Okay, now this button is turned green, so we're going to click install to Automation Hackers and it will just say whatever workspace you've selected. In our case, it's Automation Hackers. Then install YouTube demo or the name of your app. Then it's going to bring us back to this page and we're going to go and copy this bot user OAuth token. Once we have that copied, we're going to go back to our n8n instance and we are going to import a Slack trigger. And the Slack trigger that we're going to do is on bot app. Then it's going to bring us to this page and we're going to click the drop down and we're going to do create new credential. And we're going to use that bot app OAuth token that we just copied and we're going to paste it into access token. Now we're going to go back to our Slack app and we need to get our signature secret. And inside of Slack, the signature secret is actually called signing secret. So we'll show this, we'll copy it, and we'll come back here and we're going to put that in the signature secret form field. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to hit save. And you should see a connection tested successfully. That means that we're connected to that app. Next, we're going to come to webhook URLs. This is the test URL. We're going to click it and URL is going to copy to our clipboard. Then we're going to come back to our Slack application and we're going to go down to event subscriptions. And this is what connects the webhooks or connects Slack to our n8n instance. So we're going to turn this on. we need to submit that test URL right here. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get your URL didn't respond with the value of challenge parameter. So we need to go back to Slack. We're going to mark watch whole workspace, and then we're going to execute this step so that this trigger is listening for events that come from Slack. Then we're going to go back here and we are going to retry this. And now we got it successfully because we set our trigger to listen for events. And now Slack can verify that we've sent it to the right place. So once we do that, we're going to come and we're going to add bot user event, and it's going to be app mention. And then we're going to save our changes. And that's everything that we need to do inside of this Slack space, in this Slack app creation space. So now we're going to go back to our Slack integration. We're going to stop listening since we already connected successfully. Something that is crucial to remember is that each one of these Slack triggers contains a unique webhook URL. So in this case, we put a test URL in our Slack app, which means that our Slack app is only going to work as long as we are in test mode and we are using this test URL. As soon as we switch it to a production URL, the app that we have set up will not work. The way that we need to handle this is when we put our app when we put our workflow into production, we need to come into our app and we need to change this request URL. So you just do that by hitting change, and you'll copy another URL in. And in order for it to be integrated, you'll have to do the same thing that we did before, which is pull in events in Slack. You'll have to execute that step, and then it will connect. The other thing is that your webhook between your test environment and your production environment changes. But on top of that, every time you put a new trigger in place, the webhook URL is going to be different, even if it's a test URL and even if it's in the same workflow. So the app, as we have it configured now, will only work for this trigger and not for this one because the webhook is a different URL. So you need to keep that in mind as you're switching between workflows, or if you delete your trigger and get a new one, it's going to have a different URL and you're going to have to reconfigure this URL in order for your app to work. So that's crucial. It'll leave if you don't do that, and if you aren't aware of that, it could lead to an enormous amount of headache. Okay, so now we're going to go over into Slack, and we need to add our Slack bot to the channel that we're interested in. So we're going to come over here and we're going to connect Slack to n8n, and we're going to mention our bot. And you can see it'll come up. We'll hit at YouTube demo and we'll hit enter, and you're going to see a little message that comes up. You mentioned at YouTube demo, but they're not in this channel. And now we need to add them to the channel. Once we do this, we're going to come back and we're going to execute this step. Again, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to open this. We're going to execute this step. Now it's listening for the test event. And when we app mention our bot or our YouTube demo, we're going to say hi. We'll come back here and we'll see that now this message has come through. So our bot is successfully connected to n8n. So now that we've successfully sent a message from Slack to n8n, we're going to send a message back. So the way that we do that is we're going to add another node. Look in Slack. We're going to do send a message. Now we'll have our configuration screen here. We're connected to our Slack trigger. And what we need to do in this case is we need to send a message to a channel, and we can do either from list, we can do ID. In this case, we're going to come and we're going to look right here, and we're going to say by ID. We're going to grab this, drag it over here so that it is connected correctly. And we're going to just send a simple text message back. So we'll just say hello. Now we will execute this step. We have a Slack error response, which is channel not found. And the reason we got this channel not found error is because we need to change our credentials for this particular node. So we're going to go and we're going to do Slack account 2, execute step, and now we've successfully sent that message. So you need to make sure that the credentials in this node match the one from the trigger. So we'll go back and we'll see that we sent our response, hello. and it has this little automated with n8n work with this n8n workflow. We can turn that off by coming down here to add message, include link in workflow, and turn that off. Now we'll execute the step again, and we'll see that message is no longer below the response. So now let's try this whole workflow from beginning to end. We will exit out of this node. We'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. We're going to execute workflow. Now it's waiting for the message to be sent in Slack. So let's go over to Slack. We'll message the bot and we'll say, hi there. And we should get a hello response. And there we go. So the whole workflow just ran. So that's how you successfully connect your n8n instance to your Slack workspace step by step. Again, you can download this workflow along with the manifest file if you want to skip a number of these steps and just avoid any manual mistakes. And again, that's in the link in the description